to Mission to Inspire. My name is Shola Ajibade, and I've got my guest here with me today. His name is Shawon to go, Julius. Pardon me if I didn't pronounce your name properly.
It's fine.
He's the CEO of Visuals by Shawon, and he's a documentary photographer and videographer as well. So you're welcome onto our show today.
Thank you, Shola.
So how do you pronounce your name? I'm sure I didn't pronounce the middle one properly.
It's actually, you did well with the Shawon. It's actually Shawon Terngutor, Julius. Terngutor.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that.
No.
All right, please can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm a documentary photographer based in Abuja, Nigeria. And, with the name documentary, I travel a lot. So I'm usually not in one place. But if you want to contact me, you can get me here in Abuja. I'm based in Abuja. I'm from Benue State, Makodi, and I'm Teal by tribe.
Okay. So you've said you're a documentary photographer. So what about the videography? Because I know you do videography as well.
Videography also goes with the pictorial representations of those documentaries, because in recent times, each time I want to document people, they usually say, don't you do video too? Or do we have to contract someone else for the video? So as time went on, I had to do a 1-year course in cinematography, in documentary cinematography, just so I could balance it up and, give my clients the best.
That's interesting. You talked about documentary. What exactly is it that you're doing in terms of documentary?
My documentary is basically trying to show people the things they don't see. There are people actually suffering out there. There are people going through a lot in our villages, in our local communities, and most of us stay in the urban areas. We don't know what is happening there. We don't know what those people are going through. So a few of us have decided to take it upon ourselves to go to these communities, let people see let the government in particular see what these people are going through. People are dying on a daily basis of hunger. Hunger is real. People are dying, and it seems like a very simple thing, just saying it, that people are dying of hunger. People are dying of hunger. When you go to this place, you see these things happening. You see children emaciating, their bones coming out, and you tear in your eyes, for all this kind of thing. So it's really sad to see that in the 21st century we still have these kind of things happening, and people are unaware. So as a documentary photographer, I have made it a point of duty to bring to the awareness of the government and even philanthropists to make them know that these things are actually real. People are actually going through, a lot of this kind of thing. So that is basically it. That is my goal. That's my life right now.
Oh, it's a very good thing that you're doing for humanity there, by making, the people who I would say matter in the society, for them to know that this is what is going on and it's real, and for them to get involved and help. It's really good. It's really good. So how do you do that?
Well, like I said, I travel a lot. So I go to, in fact, I am on a project right now.
Right.
Saving the child.
Okay.
Yes, saving the child, saving the future. That's when you save the child, save the future.
Okay.
I put together a couple of stories. Some that I wouldn't want to put out there because I'm working on a book right now. Okay. That's saving the child, saving the future.
Right. That's the title of the book.
It's a photo documentary.
All right.
Yes. I'm trying to be particular about where I'm from, Benue State. So yes, because people are really going through a whole lot of things. I was in Guma local government in Bajimba, where the current governor is from.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, I went there to attend the wedding, and I saw these children come to pick up remnants of food.
Oh my God!
Plastic remnants, and I tapped somebody beside me and I asked him, "What do these children use these things for?" He told me that some of these children you are seeing here now, they haven't eaten in days, and they wait for kind of events to happen so that they come and pick the remnants, because even if they go to those people serving food, they won't give them anything. So they have to wait for someone to eat. They come with their plastic bags, they scrap out the food, the remnants you finish eating, and they take it back, eat and eat. And these are 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. So in fact, I have a picture. I don't know if I sent the picture to you. I have a picture to that effect. When I saw it, I had to just take out my camera and capture that moment when they were picking up those scraps. And it was so, in fact, I had immediately I captured the moment, I started crying, because, in quotes, privilege is what has blinded a lot of people's eyes to all this kind of things. You are privileged and you don't even want to know what's happening to people out there. How many people really want to go out there to see what is happening to these children and support them?
Sure.
I had a couple from the UK, from Philippines. When I posted the picture and I posted the story, they wanted to support the young man, in the picture. They wanted to support him, send monies, and sponsor him in school. And I really feel bad because I don't have a platform, I don't have a foundation, or at the time I wasn't really aware of any NGO that I could partner with to help this. Yeah. So recently I was doing a documentary for one organization, and I met someone. He just got interested in the way I was working. Yeah. So he had a number, and subsequently we got chatting, and I told him a particular story of a boy that I shot, and he was so amazed. He had to call me and say, "Guy, how do I support you? My wife lives in the US. How do we come in? How do we help these children?"
Yes.
Yes. So currently I'm looking for an NGO that I can partner with, in Benue State, to help these kids, because the government isn't doing anything about it. So we private individuals, we have to actually do our best.
You have to do your best, yeah.
And, so it's really scary when you see what these children go through. It's really, really scary. I don't want to talk about the adults, because you've come to an age where you can actually take care of yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
They are really vulnerable to a whole lot of things. They are very, they don't have anybody who can support them, be there for them, and they just have to be there for themselves because they don't want to die.
True. Very true. Very true. Very true. You've actually talked a little bit about your project. So can you tell us more about the projects that you do? I can see you are doing quite a few projects, and I'm thinking you must have your hands full.
Yes. Well, in 2020, when COVID hit us, I decided to go to some local communities to see how the COVID, how they were taking the whole COVID thing. And to your greatest amazement,
yes,
a lot of these people were not sensitized.
Right.
They got paid monies to agencies to go out, do sensitization, tell these people that this is actually real. People are dying from it. They should stay safe. And they're supposed to disburse COVID materials to them. And all you see these people doing is going to share noodles, rice, oil. This is not, they need all these things, but they also need to be sensitized about the fact that COVID is real. It's killing people. You go to a community where somebody, if I have a picture where there are 3 boys, they were sharing one face mask.
What? How?
Yeah. Yes, they're sharing one face mask. After the brother used the face mask, he gave it to the junior brother. The junior brother gave it to the smaller one.
Wow. They're spreading the virus.
Yes, exactly. You are spreading the virus, the COVID virus, and even more. You know, and you see that they've been using that particular mask for like a week.
Oh my goodness.
You know, so it's really scary when you see these kind of things. Like that was the project I was on, and we did a lot of sensitization to that effect.
Yeah.
We're able to really help a lot of people.
Okay.
You know, yeah. Then we also the Almajeris. You know the Almajeris.
Yes.
Yes. We partnered with an agency. I don't know if the ones is a private agency anyway. I don't know if I have the permission to, you know, call them out here. But we had to partner with them to take these streets, because it's really scary, because these children are the ones that people still use to rob people on the road. So if you don't take them on the streets, they become a nuisance.
Okay. Right. Yes.
So they have to be sensitized at a very, very early age that you guys don't need to be on the street. You need to go to school.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't need to stay beg. You see 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds staying on the street to beg. Meanwhile, they're supposed to be in school.
In school.
Yes, they stay on the streets and they beg. You know, but you see that it's not really their fault because of the kind of government we have. You know, the government haven't really been particular about the needs of these children. You know, so it's really scary. And you know, I always tell people something. We should look at the future.
Yes.
And if you leave these children to behave like this, to be like, what do you expect them to become in the next 10 years? Do you expect somebody who has grown on the street to become a doctor when you didn't go to school? You know, you didn't have the privilege of education, formal education. What can you actually do with your life aside causing nuisance?
Yes.
You know, so it's really important and sacrosanct that we look into this kind of issues. It is really, really important. That is why I'm very particular about saving the child and saving the future. If you don't save the child now, you can't save the future. Every single child that we see today are our future.
Wow. It's really heart-touching what you said there, because then, as you said, we'll be thinking, so what is the government doing? I mean, can they not see that this is happening in those communities? It's really sad. But as you said, your documentary, I pray that it reaches, you know, those people that would really be able to assist those kids. Thank you very much. From the projects that you're doing, there's one called the Poverty Alleviation documentary for the Middle Belt in Nigeria. So is that the Save the Children?
Yes, Save the Child.
Oh, is that the one? Okay. Yes. Right. Yes. Okay.
We are trying to alleviate poverty in those local communities. And you know, while we are not particular about the middle-aged and the old, is because they are already far gone with their age. So we are particular about children. In fact, there's a particular picture I sent to you.
Right.
It was a family of 7. The dad, from what they told me, the dad was late, and the 8-year-old boy is the breadwinner of the family.
Right.
At the age of 8, you have to take care of 7 siblings.
At the age of 8?
8, yes. He had to
7
farm.
siblings.
Yes, he had to farm. In fact, when I shot that picture, he was scraping out cassava to boil and give his younger ones to eat.
Oh my God! At that young tender age, he needs looking after.
Exactly.
Himself.
After himself too, but he had to take care of his siblings, because if he doesn't go to farm, imagine going to farm cassava.
Yes.
just to feed your younger ones. And rest assured that all they are going to eat is that cassava. They're not going to eat any other thing. So it goes a lot to show you that these children are going to be malnourished, or they are being malnourished
already. Yes.
They don't think about it like that, because that is what they can afford.
That's what they can get. Yeah.
So it's really, really scary. It's scary. If you go to these places, you will cry. I tell you, you will cry. You will cry when you see, these things happening.
And these children are the future of tomorrow.
Yes,
so,
they are the future.
Yeah.
But they are the future of tomorrow.
It's really sad. Honestly, it's really sad. And I just pray that help will come so that these kids, can be removed from the street, because that's what we need. We need them off the street. We need them in schools so that they can get educated and become somebody who they want to be and become the future of tomorrow. Because some of these kids are going to be the ones to be government tomorrow. They'll be the one looking after the younger generations coming after them. Yeah. So, yes. And I think it's something that all of us need to be involved and help these kids come off the street. Thank you so much. Can you tell us a little bit about your project, the Beat Zero Plastic Project?
Okay, the Beat Zero Plastic Project is a project, is my personal project.
Okay.
And yes, we started the project. I had to involve a couple of my counterparts in photography too. So we started the project in 2021 February.
Yeah.
So the Beat Zero Plastic project is all about taking. You go to these local communities. I'm saying local communities because this is actually where these things happen. You see a lot of plastic bags, waste on the road, close to residential houses, and people really care about these things because they don't know the latter effects of those kind of wastes living around them. Yes. So it's a project that it's a project that's supposed to foster the sensitization of people's minds. Like, you don't need to have this waste around you.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You go about and people throwing plastic bags, plastic containers. They finish taking sachet of water, they throw it on the road. Trying to tell people that we have to keep our environment clean. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't need to discard our waste. We don't need to discard waste on the road.
On the street.
Yes. It's because you just see it. One person discards a plastic bag on the road, and you feel like you're the one that's going to do it. 10 other people, 20 other people, 50 other people are going to come and do the same thing.
Sure. Yes, that's true. Very true.
So you go to these communities that they don't even care. They don't even care. In Benue State now, there's something called Bensasa.
Okay.
It's an environmental agency that take care of wastes.
Right. Yes.
In Benue State,
yeah.
And you see, when I walk around the street, even in the urban area, I'm like, do these people actually work and they get paid for what they don't do? Because you see a lot of waste around. You see a lot of on the street. You see these big waste bins. These industrial waste bins that are usually kept on the road for refuse.
Yeah.
You see them overflowing.
Oh my God.
And, yes, and it makes everywhere really dirty. And very, very poisonous and harmful to, the environment.
Yeah.
You pass there and you breathe in that air.
Oh my goodness.
You think it's nothing, but you breathe in that air and it actually does cause harm to your system. So that is what the Beat Zero Plastic
is all about. Okay.
Yeah. So we go around, we take these pictures, we put them online to show the government, and we actually tag the location so that the government see that, okay, this is where this thing is happening and this is what we have to do about it.
Okay. Oh, that's really good. That's really clever though.
Yeah.
That's really clever though, because then when they see, especially when they see it and if it's something that could affect their political ambition, you know, that they would definitely then want to do something and make sure it doesn't dent their political ambition in any way. But yeah, that's a very good, very clever, very good and clever way to approach it. Wow, yes. You're doing a very great job there, and you look so young.
Yeah. In fact, there was something else I wanted to add. There's something called the UBE, Universal Basic Education. Okay. These UBE schools now, at least in every community, in every local government, in Benue State now we have 23 local governments and bordering across 3 senatorial districts, right. Zone A, Zone B, and Zone C. Zone C now is the Idoma speaking side. Zone A and Zone B are the T speaking side. Yeah. Now, in those zones you have local governments, and in those local governments you have local communities. Mm-hmm. Now, in each local government you are supposed to have at least 3 UBE schools. Right. Now it's called Universal Basic Education. Basic education. Okay, so it's the very basic education. So it means that is compulsory. They need to give it. Yes. Okay. Yes, and you put communities, and in fact, I was going to engage a particular boy in school. Yes. But why I couldn't help the boy was because the community he was in, there was no basic education. Right. So, I thought you said there's supposed to be at least 3 in each. Yes, at least 3. There was not a single one basic education school there in the community. Oh you know, God. So you see that the governments have a very, very major role to play. Yes, they have a major role to play, major role to play. And, you know, it's so sad that the governments have, in fact, when you say the government, I don't want to really the government, you know, when you say the government, it's like an entirely different body. We have put these politicians in power. Exactly. And they try to completely politicize everything. Do you know that a governor or a senatorial aspirant can come to a community where you don't even have school? They make promises, we'll bring a school when we win, we'll do this, we'll do that. Yes. And when they actually get into power, they don't do any of these things. Wow. And it's so sad that after 4 years of being in power, they can still come back to that same place where they made those promises and give them stipends, you know, food, you know, very, very little things. And these people collect these things vote for them again. Because they are hungry. You know, the government starves you, these politicians, they starve people to the extent that, you know, the things that they actually need, like schools, you know, basic infrastructure amenities, they don't look at those things. Why? Because I am so hungry, I need to eat. So what can you give me immediately? Yeah. How much can you give me immediately? Now, I'll do your... Wow. Oh my God. So it's so sad. Yeah, it's so sad. What you've said now is actually applicable, not just to Benue. It's applicable to everywhere in Nigeria, because I'm from Nigeria anyway. So I know it's applicable to almost everywhere. I know some governments are trying to do something, but some are not doing anything at all. Yeah. Yes. It's so sad. It's so sad. I just wish they're watching, so they know that they really need to do more, because these kids, as we said before, they are the future of tomorrow. We never know where they will get to. And we want them to get to that place where they can do something in future and progress our country. That is what we want. You know, let's tell people that a child who went through basic education, a child who went through basic education, not necessarily nursery, but primary secondary, and eventually to the university, you hardly see those kind of people becoming robbers. You hardly see those kind of people causing nuisance in the society. Very true. It is on very, very, very rare occasions, very rare, and emphasis on very rare occasions, that you catch a thief or you catch there was a particular incident that happened, and you interview these people, and someone says, "I'm a graduate." It is very, very, very rare. So when we go back to the drawing board,
yes,
we see this is where we have to start solving these problems. You don't start building a house from the roof.
From the roof, yes.
You have to start with the foundation. So if you want to know the root cause, you have to go to the foundation. And
as you said, a lot of these politicians don't even go to those places anyway, so they don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah. So with the photography that you're doing and you're posting it online, at least they can see that these things are happening, and hopefully they will be involved to elevate the poverty in those areas. Yes, that's really good. I know you've talked briefly about COVID-19 awareness. Can you tell us a little bit about it as well?
Okay.
I know that's one of your projects, the future of the children.
Yes. When COVID hit, I'm not really sure about the numbers, especially in the local communities. I'm not sure about the numbers. In fact, it's so sad that, in Nigeria, we were giving a lot of fake reports. And we're giving a lot of fake reports. Now, I keep on asking one question. How many people in these local communities died of COVID? Was the government particular about these people? How many of these government agencies went to the local communities to find out who was getting ill, who was in, or who has already died of COVID? They just stand up each day and say, okay, 119 people died today. 120 people died in Benue State. Those 120 people that died in Benue State, where are they from? Where was it from? County local government? Was it from Bajimba? Was it from Boko? Was it from Makodi? Was it from Utupo? Was it from Otupa? Was it from Ohimini? Tell us where these people died. Exactly where they died. And they don't want to give us these records because actually that goes to show that they're actually fake. So when I went to those communities, they told us that the major problem they have is not COVID.
Okay.
The major problem they have is hunger.
Okay.
One of the men there, when I was talking to the children, the families, he just pulled me aside. He just told me, my brother, COVID-19 is not our problem. Hunger is our problem.
Wow.
Hunger is in us here daily. Hunger is killing more children than COVID is doing in the entire world.
Jesus.
Imagine, as a human being, at some point you get really hungry. Imagine you get really hungry to the extent that you don't have what to eat, you don't have what to drink, and you die of starvation.
Wow.
It's really, really scary when you think about it. Imagine a child, you sleep, and because you don't have nutrients in your body, your cells can't function anymore because you're not getting fed, and you die. It's so sad. So on the COVID project, I discovered that, in fact, anybody who cares to hear, I tell people that in those local communities, those children are not dying of COVID. Those people are not dying of COVID. What they are dying of is hunger.
It's hunger. Wow.
It's hunger. It's hunger. And these politicians, they know it. So because of the fact that they know it, they try to prey on that particular aspect. These people need food. They need to eat. They are hungry. So they don't need those basic amenities. When you come to them a bag of rice, you give them a kilo of meat, you give them oil, you give them salt, and they are good. They vote for you. Why? Because their problem is hunger.
Yes. Wow, it's really sad. It's really, really sad. As you said, where did they get the statistics from?
Exactly.
That they are publicizing and showing the world. How did they arrive at that statistics? How do we know that that's the truth? That's very true. Sad. It's so sad.
I like what was happening in the US. You know, we live in a society. It's so sad that we live in a society where we have a very poor database. A very poor database.
Right.
You know, you in a community, you know, when they do census, you say, okay, these are the number of people living in this particular geopolitical zone.
Yes.
And the question I keep on asking is, are you really sure this is the statistics? Because you find out that there are people who don't even get to even the census doesn't even get to their communities. Why? Because the government and even people who they've given these projects to go to these local communities and get the census, you don't even get to even go to those communities. So the government doesn't even know what is happening in those places.
In those communities.
Yes. So it's a tree with a lot of branches. It's a tree with a lot of branches and rotten fruits.
I understand what you mean. Yeah. But then what are the local governments doing? Because the local governments have local government chairmen, don't they?
Yes.
Not to even talk of the senators and the, all of them. What are the House of Rep and all that? What are they doing? Because that is what they are supposed to be doing.
The problem, there are actually local government chairmen and councillors that are actually working.
Yeah.
Actually working. Like the local government chairman in Benue State, particularly in Vandika local government. I'm from Kandi.
Okay.
From Vandika government, yes. You see that when you go to Vandika, they are doing a lot of roads.
Oh, that's
roads to interior villages, very good roads that lead to interior villages. You see that actually working.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And you go to another local government where the only thing the chairman cares about is the next allocation that will come in. And this doesn't really start from those local communities. It actually starts from the federal government. Now, the local government in Benue State in particular, there was something called the chairman, they advocated for autonomy.
Yeah.
Usually, when this allocation comes from the federal government,
yes,
it comes to the state first. The state government now take out the portion they are supposed to give to the local government and give it to them.
Right.
Now, if for 23 local governments, you have a budget of 1 billion, an allocation of 1 billion for the 3 quarters, because they give those monies quarterly, So you have 1 billion that's supposed to cost to GG local governments now.
Yeah.
But let's even say to make it easier, you have 23 million. So each local government is supposed to have 1 million. What these people do is, because the governor now elected you or appointed you as the local government chairman, your allegiance lies with him. So whatever he tells you to do, you do.
You do. So even if you have something in mind that you want to do, you have to put it aside and do what
the governor wants.
So the governor would be like the godfather kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Now, what happened was the bill for local government autonomy was passed, and now they are autonomous. Now the monies for the federal government goes straight to the local governments.
Right.
Now we thought that when this thing happens like this, it's going to get better in the local community, and it's getting worse. So you see that the problem wasn't even in the allocation that was sent to the state governments and subsequently to the local governments. So you see that the problem is actually with the local governments. The leadership of the local governments.
The local governments, okay.
Because we're saying that, okay, when they bring these monies, the state government usually slashes it by like 40% and you give them the rest, and it's not okay, it's not enough. You do projects, carry out a lot of things, and they say, okay, let us give these guys autonomy. They've given them autonomy now, and it's getting worse.
Wow, it's so sad. So without autonomy, they're supposed to be able to use the money judiciously, especially to do what they're supposed to, what they've actually said they would do.
Yes. So it's, in fact, imagine you go to a local government where you don't have a UBE school, So what are they actually doing? Because in every allocations now are divided into different sectors. Yes. You have infrastructure, agricultural, educational. So the allocation for education now, what are they actually doing with it? Right. That's the question. That's the question that people are scared of asking these people.
I know.
These are the people who are scared of asking. I know. So people like us now are trying to also sensitize the government.
Right.
Tell the government that these people actually do exist, and this is what we're going through. And if we don't do something about it, it's going to get worse.
Of course, it will get worse. Of course. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing and enlightening us about the projects that you do, especially how you're using it to help the children off the streets, and not just help the children off the streets, the environment as well, which is really good. And one thing that I really like that I've picked out is you're very passionate and proud of where you come from.
Yes.
So, and you're not hiding it. And you know that there's so much more. You know there are things that are being done, but you know there are so much more that could be done. And that's what you're trying to do.
Yes.
That's really good. Thank you so much. So can you tell us what is it that is making you do all these things? Because as I'm saying, I'm looking at your face and I'm looking, this is a very young chap. I mean
Well, my first drive, I'm a giver.
Okay.
Yes, that is how my mom knows. If I have $10,000 now, if I go up and someone asks me how far I need money, I give. I'm a giver.
Oh.
I'm a giver. I can't see somebody going through a problem and I know I can help you. And don't help. But most times I go out of my way, even when I have my own problems. My mom keeps on telling me that, guy, you have your own problems, you have your own issues. Who helps you solve those problems? Yeah. So I tell her, I usually tell her that solving people's problems will make God solve my own problems.
Oh.
And I have this watchword. God has never ever left me stranded. I've been through a lot. I have been, even with my photography, I've been through a whole lot, and God has never ever left me stranded.
Wow.
Never ever left me stranded. So live my life with, if I don't have any money in my account, I tell God that you have never left me stranded. So you are not going to, leave me stranded now. So my drive, or what made me, what has driven my passion for for the 4 years, is the fact that I love to give.
Right.
I don't have the money. I don't have the money to particularly go to these people and give them some problems.
Yeah.
But the little
exactly.
I do. Trying to show the world that these people actually exist. These people actually need these things.
Right.
Yes. So I have a passion for giving, and my giving has tended to even showing the world that, people are going through things like this.
Oh, that's really nice, because then you have a golden hat. So you're extending that golden hat. And there's so much more that you can do on your own. So you're extending it out there. Yes. Okay, so we know where that came from. So when since you've started these projects that you're doing, have you experienced any negativity on your path?
A whole lot, I tell you, a whole lot. You know, the first problem with going out to document is finances. Okay. Because most times I have to save up. Mm-hmm. Save up from what I get from doing my other corporate documentaries where I get to be paid, photo shoots, covering weddings and events. And I'm a documentary photographer. Yeah. I'm not meant to be shooting portraits. I'm not meant to be particularly covering weddings because I'm not a wedding photographer. But for a start, you have to do these things because you want to make money.
Money, yes.
Yes. So I decided that, okay, I'll do every kind of photography. I'll offer every type of photography service just to save money and, for myself and also for the projects that I have.
That you have.
So it hasn't been easy at all. And last year I got robbed. I almost lost all my years. Imagine years of saving and, you get robbed. And you see, these are the kind of things we're talking about. My car in Abuja here, my car overheated at Mabushi. Okay. And yes, and I had to stop. This was as late as 10 p.m. in the night. Okay. I traveled these states to shoot a wedding. I came back, so the couple called me that they wanted to do another photo shoot in their house. So I had all my equipment in my car, my MacBook, my cameras, my lenses, my lights. I was going through production, so of course I had to do that, So I had to stop. Yeah. So that's 10 p.m. So I had to pour water in my radiator, close the bonnet. I was a friend of mine. He was the one driving because I was really tired. So I was waiting for the gauge to go back to normal.
To normal, yes.
It was red, so it was really heated. So I was waiting for it to gauge back to the normal point. So while waiting, someone came from nowhere, snatched my phone, opened my back door. Yes, opened my back door. Tried to stab because my glass was worn down, but the driver wasn't worn down. So the person now stabbed the glass, thinking that mine was also
okay.
He was going to immobilize the driver, then properly rob us. And as God would have it, I just told him, guys, zoom off, and he zoomed off. My back door closed, and they weren't able to, take any of my equipment. He just made.
But they took your phone.
Yes, they took my phone and withdrew every single dime I had in my account. Yes, so that was. I almost went into depression.
Okay, because you have your phone, the bank app on your phone.
Yes, everything on my phone, every detail. And the worst part was that I was operating the phone when they collected it, so it was actually unlocked.
It was unlocked. Oh my God.
Yes. So I zoomed off and I just told my friend that God didn't want me to use the phone after that day.
Okay.
So every single thing that happens to me that I see as negative, people see as negative, I feel like God is trying to avert something from me. So I don't stress it. I don't bother. If it happens, it has happened, and let's move on. So that's like my worst experience, so far.
So far.
Yeah. Because that happened on the job. I was just leaving a particular job and, that happened, And that's actually enough discouragement because they made away with a whole lot of cash. Monies that I saved to, do a lot of things for myself and other people too. They just made away with it. And you see what we're discussing. These people who stay on the road to steal are people who haven't really been touched by the government. So imagine these children, those people who come out to steal from people on the express. Imagine if those children actually got basic education, imagine they were taken care of properly, they wouldn't be on the street at 10 p.m. trying to rob someone.
True. Very true. Very, very true.
For me, that was one of my major drives in 2020 rather. It happened in 2020. That was one of my major drives. I was like, because of the fact that these children, these people, because I came out, I saw them, I looked back, and I saw that those guys should be around the age of 35, 34.
Okay.
You know, so because of the fact that this children reached out to, now, you know, so it goes a long way. It goes a long way in affecting our society.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a very bad experience, though. But as you said, and I like your spirits, because it's good to be positive. Because when you're positive, you don't let things weigh you down. And then you're able to, even though when you're weighed down, you're able to get up very quickly than staying there longer. You're able to get up quickly and just not helping yourself. Because I'm very sure you still went to do that photography that night.
Yeah, I had to.
Even though you had that experience, you handled it very positively. You didn't let it weigh you down. And that alone is an inspiration to people out there that no matter what you're going through, get up and, do something for yourself, because that way you're able to help yourself and help other people out there as well. Imagine if you had actually let that weigh you down, then your projects would have all had to come to a pause. And every other thing would have had to come to a pause as well.
Yes. But there's something else. There's something else. After that experience, I had a couple of other experiences. Right. My hard drives got missing. People who worked for me misplaced a whole lot of things, and I felt like those were particular attacks. Yeah, because when you are trying to do something good, that is how life happens naturally. Yeah. When you are trying to do something good, a lot of bad things come your way. And for me, if I'm doing something or I am back on a project and it's going so smooth, everything is going so fine, so well, nothing bad happening, I sit back and tell myself, "Guy, are you doing the right? Are you sure you're on the right path?" Because that is me. I always feel like if I'm doing the correct thing, I'm doing the right thing, I'm going the right way, something bad has to happen. The devil has to attack you. That's actually when, for me, that's actually when I know I'm doing the right thing. You must have challenges. You must go through a lot of challenges, because it is in those challenges that your dream is actually bettered. Right. If I was doing this documentary photography and trying to tell the stories of these young children in these communities, and I didn't go through any single challenge, everything was going on well, I can ask myself, am I sure I'm doing the right thing at all? So a lot of these things are going to happen. You are going to face, and now I'm talking to young creatives like myself out there. Don't need to have all the money in the world. Start up something little. I started my photography. I bought my first camera. In fact, I started with a phone, a techno phone. That was when I started shooting photography. At first, I started using my phone. And I still have the pictures, and the pictures are still really good. I was really passionate. In fact, when I started with nature photography. I'll go out, do sunset shoots, edit them, and put line, waiting for people to actually tell me that, guy, this is beautiful, So I discovered that using a phone wasn't really enough, so I had to get a camera. Now, my dad, for one, wasn't really in support of me doing photography. He wanted me to get a white collar job, either work in a bank.
Like all parents.
But I told him that this is not what I'm passionate about. I don't want to sit. I don't want to do a 9 to 5. I'm not fashioned for something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So I told him I wanted to get a camera, and he was like, I'm not going to get you a camera. And he was in a position where I could get any single type of camera I wanted in this world. All I had to do was just name it. So at the time, he was the board chairman of BIPC, that's Benue Investment Property Company. So what I did, and he doubled as the director general of the current governor's, director general of the current governor, the campaign organization at the time in 2019. Yeah. That is when I started documenting. So I told him that I wanted to go out with him, to local governments, to take pictures. But I told him I wanted to document the entire campaign. But I had my own. I just told him that was just a facade. I just told him that, okay, that's what I wanted to do. But deep within me, I knew why I was going to those communities.
You had your own agenda.
I had my own agenda. So what I did was, each time I go to those communities, I take beautiful pictures, sunset pictures. Remember, I told you that I started as a nature photographer. I love to document nature. So I wasn't really particular about children and what they were going through. So all through the campaign period, when I used to go to him, I take nature pictures, natural pictures, landscape pictures, and all of that.
Yeah.
So there was this particular community I went to, and I was so sad. I saw a politician taking out donuts, throwing in the air. These donuts will fall on the ground, and these children will still pick it.
Oh my God.
I'm like, donuts. He had a bag, a whole leather, a plastic bag of donuts. He was throwing it, and they were shouting and hailing him.
Wow.
I'm a very, very emotional person. So tears began to fall, from my eyes, because I now pictured what these children go through for them to, try to rattle for, crumbs from the ground. So it was really sad. That was actually when I made up my mind that, this is actually what these children are going through. And I was going to stories, I was going to reach out to them to tell their stories for people to know that, there are people going through things like this.
Yeah.
So back to how I got my first camera. I edited those pictures, the landscape pictures, and I got little help from my dad, because every local government we go to, when we come back to Makurdi, gives little money. So I saved up. I saved up, and I framed, I enlarged, I did a lot of frames of those nature landscape. Took them to my dad, and of course I'm his son, so they were forced to buy it, even if some of them didn't want the paintings, they had to buy them. So that was how I saved up I sold about 7 pieces of my work. Saved up to, I think, 80,000.
Wow.
80 or 90,000. I think 90,000. And I told my mom that, Mommy, Daddy is not going to give me money to buy a camera. And the camera I want to buy, I didn't even have a laptop at the time.
Right.
And the camera I want to buy is Wi-Fi enabled. So I could actually connect my phone and download pictures straight to my phone and edit. That's that camera. And that camera at the time was sold for 115,000.
Okay.
So I needed 5,000.
5,000 more.
Yeah, more to add and buy the camera. She was like, okay, no problem. I'm going to support you with 25,000. She gave me the money, and immediately I went to the store and I got my camera. That was like, in fact, I held onto that camera throughout the night. that was like a dream come true for me.
Oh.
That was
I can't imagine. How old were you then?
I think I was 21.
Wow.
20 or 21.
Wow. See, that was exactly when you had the vision to do what you're doing now.
Yeah. Yes. So on my own, and apparently there was something else I didn't see. Apparently, I was also taking pictures for my church.
Okay.
Yes, the church had its own camera, so I had the privilege to be able to take the camera home. So I usually tell them that I'll take the camera home to edit the pictures. Meanwhile, I didn't really need to take the camera home to, get the pictures. I could actually connect the camera to a laptop there in church. Yes, I told them that if my pastor is watching, this is like me confessing, Yeah, so I had to take the camera home. And that was the camera I used throughout the campaign.
Okay. You're confessing now.
I'm actually doing a confession, Yeah, so even in my church, I had to give back. People don't know this, but I had to give back to my church because deep within me, I knew that without that camera, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
To even get to where you got to today, because that was what actually started that vision in you at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really great. It's amazing. Your journey is so amazing.
Yeah. So after that, I continued, and things became hard for my dad too, because a lot of things became really, really hard for him, and I was actually the one now supporting him. Sometimes I'll call my dad, he sent me an account number, I sent him 50,000. Some other time I even sent him 100,000. He was like, "Guy, I feel so bad that I didn't support you in this dream you had for photography when I could support you."
That is a very great lesson learned there by our parents, because most times they don't want we don't want our children to do what they want to do. We think we have this vision for them, who we want them to be, but kids actually have a vision for themselves. They know who they want to be, and we just need to support them to be who they want to be.
So subsequently, I was really supporting the family, sending money, So in fact, there was a day he asked me, "Guy, are you sure this is just photography?" I told him, "Photography. It's just photography." So because the regular photographers where you see, you just go for a wedding event and a photographer is trying to capture you, capture you, go and print the pictures immediately. So he actually, that was the idea he had. He thought that was the kind of photography I was doing. Yeah. So when he said seeing the money's coming in a lot, he now told me that, "Kai, I really regret not supporting you when I could. Because I didn't know that this was the vision you had."
The vision that you had. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we bless God there. We really thank God for who He has made you to be today. Can you tell us any give our viewers any recommendation, any motivation? Can you motivate them to do something? I know a lot of people want to do something, but somehow they got left behind. They don't think they can do it for one thing or the other. Because from your story, it's so amazing how you picked yourself up in severally two different ways. Yeah.
One thing I always tell my fellow young creatives is that there's time for everything. That's the first thing. There's time for everything. Yes. And don't beat yourself up if you try to do one thing and it doesn't work.
Yes.
That might actually not be what you are supposed to do. That is why being spiritual about your vision is very, very important. It's very key.
Sure. Yes.
You can try to do a particular thing and you actually see yourself doing it for like 5-6 years and it will not be what you are supposed to be doing.
True.
And you've spent a lot of time doing the wrong thing.
Wow. Wow.
You know, so that's why the first thing I'll tell my young creatives is that no matter the kind of life you live,
yes,
always involve God in your dream. This is the dream I have.
Sure.
That your dream might not necessarily be what God wants you to do. It might not even be His plan for you. And of course, God's plan supersedes every single vision.
Every other plan. Yes.
You know, so it is first and foremost, it is very important that you involve God in that you have, so that you be able to know, if you'll be able to discern if or not this is the right thing for me to do. But time is very, very precious.
Yes. Yeah.
The second thing now is, when you know that this is what I'm supposed to do, like I said before, there are a lot of problems that will come your way. There are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of things that will come your way. I had a friend whose car was stolen. In fact, his car was stolen. He went to cover a wedding, and you know, usually when we go for those kind of events, we carry our entire gears. He finished the wedding. He put the cameras, his lights, everything inside his car, and he made away with the car.
Oh my God!
He made away with the car. If not for technologies like in car tracking and the rest of that, they tracked the car in that state, but they had made away with his camera, his every single gear, his hard drives had pictures of weddings, documentaries that he had done that he had not delivered.
Oh my goodness!
You know, so you think that your situation is bad, you know, and you don't know that people are actually going through worse.
The worst one.
Yeah, you know. So it's very important that you don't get discouraged, because these problems are actually going to, you know, happen. A lot of problems are really going to happen, you know, come your way. So please, my fellow creatives out there, especially young creatives, because I'm also a very, very young creative, you know, let's get discouraged. You come to a point in your life where you like, am I sure I'm not going to, I should do a 9 to 5, you know, I should get a proper job where I know that, okay, I'm going to be paid after every month. There are some months where you go without one single job.
Right.
And I believe what has really helped my photography is networking. When I moved to Abuja, I did a lot of free gigs. I did a lot of free photo shoots. You know, I did a lot of collaborations with makeup artists. You know, if you want to do a shoot, or if you have a client, I can shoot the person for free. I will cover this for free. Why? Because I needed to create content. I needed to put my work out there. I needed on my page. I needed content on, you know, my social media handles. You know, and you can't get. I knew that, okay, I wasn't getting the jobs because I wasn't really popular in Abuja at the time. So I wasn't going to get any job because actually people didn't know me. So how on earth was I get, you know, jobs? So I had to do these free gigs so that when people see my pictures, when people see my work, you see my watermark on the picture, and they ask, who took this picture? Okay, say Visuals by Shawon took the picture. Okay, call him, let him come and do this job. And that is how I started off in Abuja. You know, so my young creatives out there, don't wait to be called for a job. Look for a job and do by yourself.
And do it.
Yes, go out there, do free gigs, especially if you are just starting up. Do free gigs, you know, do free jobs for people, you know, and subsequently, even the rich love free things. So I'll tell you a story real quick. I did a job for someone. He paid for just photography.
Right, yes.
Now, when I went there, after I finished documenting the photography, I finished doing it. I still had time, and I took out my gimbal and I fixed my camera and I started shooting videos.
Right, yes.
You know, and he was asking, this one self now part of the photography. I say, yes, sir. Don't worry. When you see the production at the end of the day, you like it. And I did the videos. I compiled a lot of videos, put them together, a trailer for him. And he even loved how the video came out more than the pictures that he called me to take. And this is what happened. I didn't get paid for that job, but I got 5 other jobs from that particular
one. Yeah, you get referrals. Yes.
When you posted them, people were like, who did this for you? Please call him to come for me too.
Yes.
So don't try to, because they call you to do this thing, doesn't mean you not sell yourself in another thing that you are good at doing. You know, so I've told you that if you call me to do a photography job, I'm going to do video for you too, whether you paid for it or not. Going to do. Yeah, because they're actually going to post it, and someone else is going to see it and say, "Oh, I like this thing.
I like it." Yes. And
it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost you anything. You have the gears, you have the expertise. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. Yes. You know, so please, we should all strive to, you know, go more than, you know, where we've been asked to go.
Right.
You know, put 2, put 4. They ask you to put 5 into what you are doing. Put 10.
Wow.
You know, so that's basically that's my advice to my fellow young creatives out there. You know, don't wait to be given a job before you give yourself a job. Go out there. There are things to document. There are pictures to be taken. There are things that you haven't seen that you can show.
Yes.
You know, videos. You know, because if me personally, what I did throughout 2021 was I did a lot of video documentaries and I put them out there. You know, I send them to friends. You know, we post. You know, and I got a lot of gigs. People calling me, how far? I got your number from this person. I got your number from this platform. You know, can you come and do a job? So do these free gigs. It doesn't cost anything as long as you can have.
Exactly.
Because you are selling yourself out there, and the only way you get people to know you is selling yourself out there.
Yes.
You know, I came to this town, Abuja, and I decided to clock myself in waiting for, I need people to pay me for a job. I can't just go and do a job for free. You know, how many people would have been able to, because my name wasn't out there. You know, so who would have seen a work and say, okay, this is a recommendation I have. This guy is good. This is what he has done. No matter how good you are, people want to see what you've done.
You have done. Yes. They want to see. They want
what you've done.
Exactly.
And you don't necessarily need to wait for somebody to give you a job before you create something for yourself for people to see.
Exactly.
And know that what you can do.
Yes. Thank you so much, because at the end of the day, it just means that we need to go out there and do much more than we thought that we could do. Give out more, give more to your community, give more to your society, give more. Instead of taking in so much, give out as well. Yeah. Thank you so much. So for people that want to reach you, how can they reach you?
My handle on Instagram, because that is where I get tons of my works, and that is where you can find a lot of my works on Instagram, at visuals by Shawon, visuals_by_Shawon, visuals_by_Shawon. Yes, same thing on Facebook too.
Is it the same on Facebook as well?
Yeah, on Facebook too, and my contact info, my number 08024615279. You can always reach me. We are on 24 hours a day, 48 hours, so you can always reach me through my platform or through my number. And then one very important thing before we close, one very important thing is that don't start. Of course, the aim of every business is to make profit.
Yes.
Now, don't try to put profits making in front.
Yeah.
Let your passion be what will drive you, not what money. make at the end of the day. But the fact that you bought a camera close to $1 million doesn't mean you should make that money. You should make that money immediately.
Yes.
So it's a business. We all know it's a business. But the first motive of your business is to touch humanity.
Yes.
Now, I'm particularly talking to documentary photographers and videographers. Your first work is to touch humanity. When you touch humanity, people will also touch you.
Exactly.
Those jobs will come. Those gigs will come. Those endorsements will come. But the first is to touch humanity. So when you know that your first goal is to touch humanity, doing things for free, trying to sell yourself out there is going to become very, very easy for you.
Exactly.
Money. You shouldn't be making money, making profits, getting your money you've put back, your capital, getting it back. That should not be your motive. Subsequently, it could. I mean, you have to take care of yourself. This is the only thing you do. So you actually need to make money, to take care of yourself, buy new gears, upgrade. But I assure you that if you are trying to give to your community, if you are trying to give to the people of the world, you are trying to help humanity, God will also help you. It is the natural law of life.
Amen.
Wow. Yes. So that is just the natural law of life. When you help people, people also help you. That's
Great. Thank you so much, Julius, for coming on to our show. And I'm sure that you've inspired and motivated a lot of people out there. You've actually motivated me, to be honest, through all what you're doing. So thank you so much for coming on.
Because I really, really believe in what you are trying to do, and you need these people who are already made, these NGOs are already made, that can actually come on your platform, to tell you and the world what they are doing to help humanity. I could reach out to them and tell them, come on Shola's platform, let's create magic.
Yes.
The world.
Yes, let's create magic to help the world. Yeah. That's the word. Thank you so much for coming on our show. Thank you. And until next time, we would let you see our next guest next time. Who's going to inspire you, just as Julius had inspired you today. Thank you, Julius, for coming on our show.
Thank you so much, Shola Ajibade. Take care.
Bye.